Thank you all so much for coming. Any of the cast that's here, please come up as well, and any of the rest of the crew. I know my... standing next to me is the lovely and talented Spencer Garrett, who played not only Senator Grider in the film The Scumbag, he's also a producer on the film, and like many of us, he had multiple jobs on the film. So
I wouldn't say he's a scumbag. It's he's ethically challenged. He is misunderstood. Yes. That's
as long as that goes. Claudia.
I'm Claudia Myers. I was one of the producers on the film.
Jim Warwick. I was a producer and also wrote it with my writing partner Brad Weir, who's somewhere back there.
And also, I hope you all recognize Jim from the film as well. Hey Brad, why don't you come up here, man? You only wrote the film, guy. Come on up, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Weir.
So I was lucky enough to get Jim showed me his very first draft, and I told him it sucked, but I'd fix it. And then we did.
Well, it's good. Hi, I'm Catherine Bayless, and I played Hope P. Yay!
Hi, I'm Mike Nurier. I cut the movie.
Hi, Adam Silver. I was the cinematographer. Brent Kaiser, post sound.
Steve Pearson, I was the composer.
We only need one great one.
Yeah, I mean,
and you just saw it.
Well, I think this is certainly the first, and Claudia and I are from DC. This is certainly one of the first independent movies to come out of Washington, DC. But also, what we tried to show is the similarities to Los Angeles. It's a one industry town, very much focused, and each person in both LA and DC has a role that's they could perform on the other side of the coast. But as to why I think sometimes LA gets lost in a more nefarious version of DC, where a lobbyist will slide cash to the senator, where it's just more nuanced. Spencer was so terrific in portraying that a brother-in-law is a partner in the firm, and it's more nuanced. So that's what we tried to portray. But I don't can't answer your question, except hope they do, and we're happy to perform and write them. Couple might be. No.
Not as far as we know.
Not yet.
A little bit, yeah. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I was in the middle of. I was doing another film at the same time in Canada. I was playing Congressman Tom DeLay at the same time as I was doing this, and I was going back and forth between playing Tom DeLay in a movie called Casino Jack and this, and so I had to leave Tom DeLay in Canada when I came down to Washington to play this other guy. But I lived and worked in Washington for about 5 years, and so I sort of brought a little bit of a few characters that I worked with over the years to Grider. But it was having to split the difference between Grider, who's a fictitious guy, and Tom DeLay, who's a real life guy, was a fun trick. But we pulled it off. Well, you'll see when you see the other one, hopefully.
That's actually a pretty good story. As a matter of fact, the first film that I directed was called The Consultants, and one of my dear friends, Spencer Garrett, came down for one day for, I think he calls it a bag of popcorn and a Diet Coke, and killed, and when I got this script and Jim and I finally got to the point that we were gonna do it, the first phone call that I made was to Spencer. I said, you gotta read this script. There's a part that's just born for you to play. And when he read it, as anyone who's ever made an independent film knows, the next thing out of his mouth was the key thing. He said, I love it, I want to do it, how can I help? And of course my next thing was, well, who do you know? and the next phone call we made was to Xander Berkeley, the guy that played McMahon, who's another friend of ours mutually. His wife is Sarah Clark. who played Annie in the film. One of Annie's best friends, or Sarah Clark's best friends, is Tate Donovan.
It became 6 Degrees of Xander Berkeley.
Yeah, well, I know of Spencer Garrett. And then we had great casting directors that picked up the ball from there that really rounded out the cast. But we were just really fortunate. We had material that the actors wanted to do. There were rich parts that they could sink their teeth into. They got to say great things. They got to do great things. And so it was not a really difficult film to cast in the long run. I mean, they're all people that you would have loved to have and that sort of thing. But when Noah Wiley was away for 3-4 weeks in Italy, came back, called us and said, I want to be in the movie, and we said, man, we're sorry, the part we wanted you to play has been cast. And he said, well, find me something else to do. And so Jim and Brad kind of expanded the part of Hunter Patrick a little bit, and he came out and did it, and that was the whole spirit of the film.
And I was perfect. And I'd also like to add, I mean, we couldn't have done it without incredible performances and dedication by both Kat and Joanna and Haviland, who's shooting a movie, and Charlotte, and
Ian Kessler, Kip,
Iris,
they're all, everybody that was
came
in
in and did it. And I mean, I think Kat and Joanna can really speak to it, because they came in, flew in the middle of the night, did a turnaround. We gave them the Snickers, popcorn, and Diet Coke, and put them on their way. But I mean, Kat?
Yeah, well, it was well worth it. It was my only one-day shoot. I flew all the way to DC for my little scene that you saw, but it was so fun. And to be working with Tate Donovan and to work with Jim and Dave, it was incredible. And I was like, that's it? I was like a one-take wonder anyway, but but no. Do you want to say anything, Joanna? I just put her on the spot.
No, it was just a lot of fun, and Dave was amazing to work with. He would let us sort of play around, and Tate was into improvising a bit, and yeah, it was the greatest experience.
And I really think that's one of the absolute strengths. Dave had this great vision, and we had this great cast, top to bottom. Okay, not including me, but but the fact is, down to people who came in for a scene or two. Brant Shoud, who was on Murphy Brown, he's won Emmys. I mean, he just took the train down. That was because of Spencer. And I think Hyla Matthews, who played Lila, and people just gave such great performances through the whole spectrum, and that's rare in independent movies. And it just speaks to the cast and Spencer and their belief in Dave and everything like that.
And your script.
Yes,
funny.
Yes, we have.
I know Jim
Is there any
has, for
TV
sure.
executives in the house?
I tell you, we did copyright a DC Sunday Shootout as well, so maybe bringing that one of these days also.
We'd love it if you could set that up. We're available for meetings.
I just want to say also to the cast and crew that are here, unbelievable job. Thank you so much. Could not have done it without any of you. And to everybody that came down from LA and long traffic and stuff like that, thank you so much for being part of our night. These movies, it's an unbelievable grind to make these things, and you put so much work and effort, and most of these people I saw for 4 hours at a time or something like that, and then to be able to come back and have this night and have you guys share it with us is just really means a lot to all of us. So thank you very much for coming.
I want to add
Congratulations to the cast and crew for a great movie.
Law school acceptances.
I'm the president of Yale Club of Orange County, and several years ago, we wanted to reach out to Newport Beach Film Festival and bring in Yale filmmakers, and subsequently we've created a Yale and Cinema program within the Newport Beach Film Festival. And this year we have 14 Yale films celebrating the work of 17 Yaleys, and that's producers, directors, writers, cinematographers, etc. This is one of the feature films in the lineup, and we have actually 3 Yaleys in this film: Claudia Myers, producer, Adam Silver, cinematographer, and Kip Pardue, who played the role of Luke, correct? At this point, I just simply wanted to award you our Bulldog in Film plaque, if you will, for your work. And Kip's will be in the middle. He's back east apparently.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Let's give them all a